Right, it's 12 o'clock. I call this meeting of Toastmasters to order and welcome everyone here today. We're so glad to see you. I'm going to jump right into it by introducing our Toastmaster of the day, Versandra Kennebrew. DTM is the 2021 Division F Director and has exemplified leadership mastery, receiving the 2016-2017 Artist Toastmaster of the Year Award and the 2018-2019 President's Award. As a District 44 Toastmaster Area Director, she received the 2018-19 Shining Star and led her teams to 2018, 19, 19, and 20 select distinguished areas. She has mentored new Toastmasters clubs and served as a Division 44 talk show host. A true servant leader, Versandra has volunteered in the following club roles: President, Vice President of Public Relations, Vice President of Education, and Vice President of Membership. Outside of Toastmasters, she is an advocate for the homeless and AmeriCorps alumna. Wow, Versandra, you rock, girl. Help me welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Versandra Kennebrew.
Thank you so much, Pam. What it really says in all of that is that I do a lot of stuff and I don't get paid. That's all that says.
I hear that.
But I'm a happy person. Thank you so much for that introduction, and I do appreciate that. And I'm so happy that everyone has joined us on this beautiful day here in Columbus as we prepare to dig deep and talk about ways that we can build bridges in Columbus so that everyone that lives in this area can become limitless. And we know that that is the district theme for this year in Toastmasters, becoming limitless. So thank you again for joining us today. And at this time, I would like to introduce to you one of the key persons in our club and in this meeting today that is going to support us as we move forward with becoming better communicators and better public speakers. And that person is our very own distinguished Toastmaster, May McDaniel, going to introduce us to our word of the day and talk a little bit more about her role as the person delivering that word of the day. Thank you, May McDaniel.
Thank you, Versandra. When you were introducing me, I thought, wait a minute, am I supposed to be doing something else that I missed today? My role today is to give you a word of the day, but not to act as a grammarian. Normally, this role also helps the people who are speaking to improve their grammar. Today, we're going to improve our vocabulary. And the word for the day is non sequitur. And you have perhaps heard that word before. And I think I can share my screen. There we go. Share. There it is. Can you see the word for the day, non sequitur? It is a noun, and it is a conclusion or statement that does not logically follow from the previous argument or statement. Literally, it's a Latin phrase that means it does not follow. For example, I'm trying to think how to use it in my role as the grammarian for the day. It's Puppy Day, National Puppy Day. That's a non sequitur. I'm trying to explain to you something about the word of the day, and I throw in something that does not logically follow. Literally, it does not follow. And trust me, my puppy does not follow. It is a word that you have probably heard before, and it is one that I would hope that you will find an opportunity to use as we move through this meeting. Madam Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you so much, May McDaniel, for that wonderful introduction to our word of the day, non sequitur. Oh my God, I'm going to have to definitely put forth some effort to use that word as we talk about building bridges. And maybe I'll just take a little go at it now. When we're talking about building bridges, it is non sequitur that we would even discuss putting sand as the foundation. Is that correct, May? Sand is not a good foundation.
That's close.
I'm trying my best. Listen, in a off the cuff way of using it, I am trying my best, but I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep
yes,
working on it.
it's one of those things when you say something and then you follow it up with a statement, it's National Puppy Day, that has nothing to do with building bridges.
Right.
Those are non sequiturs. And we do tend to do that in our speaking. We will talk about something and then move over to something else without any kind of segue or explanation.
Absolutely. I love this. Thank you again. So at this time, I would like to introduce to you our timer for the day. And as you know, it's very important that all things we do is done in a timely manner for everyone's benefit. And so the person who will give you an idea of what that role is and how she will use that role in this meeting is our very own club president, and our timer for today, Pam Coon.
Thank you, Sandra. It's my pleasure to be your timer today. We're concentrating on table topics. Those run, you must speak a minimum of 1 minute. And when you do, you'll see my background turn to green. At 1.5 minutes, you will get a yellow. And at 2 minutes, you will see the red. That means wrap it up, because if you speak for longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you will hear, because it is turkey season, the turkey call. That means your time is up. Now, because we are doing mostly table topics today, we're actually going to extend their answers to 3 minutes. So you have to 3 minutes. You'll have a little bit longer today, but after 3:30, I'll give you the turkey call. That's what I'll be timing. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Pam. And we all know that time is so very important and of the essence. So we're going to go without further ado and introduce to you our topics master for today. And all of our members that are here present, you know him just as Jimmy Coon, you know. He's the gentleman that is just so smart and witty. He comes up with these really cool topics, and he's just phenomenal. But you also know him simply as Pam's husband, right? Because whatever Pam says, he's gonna do. In fact, the reason why he's here is because of Pam. She said so. So I'll tell you a little bit more about Jimmy. He is also our immediate past president, and he's also a club leader at Thomaston. And I can tell you that he has been doing so many amazing things as he supports Pam in her mission to support individuals in the community with building their communication and leadership skills. Toastmasters meetings give us the opportunity to practice speaking off the cuff, on the spur of the moment without preparation. And today, our table topics master is Jimmy Coon. And please, 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 please help me. In fact, turn your device off mute right now and give it up for our table topics master, Mr. Jimmy Coon.
Thank you, Sandra. for the sake of our guests, I paid her to say those things. I want to begin this afternoon by asking you a very serious and honest question. Have you ever seen a turtle on a fence post? Well, maybe, maybe not. But if you were to have seen a turtle on the fence post, what would you internally be asking yourself? How the heck did he get there? You and I both know that turtles can't climb up to the top of a fence post and get there alone. They had to have some help. And for each of us attending this meeting today, all of you are at the top of your game, so to speak, right now. And even though you're all exceedingly bright and articulate individuals, there have been others who have helped you get to exactly where you are. Whether it was your first grade teacher who taught you to learn to read, or someone else along the way, employers, you have had some help getting to where you are. But I say this because, and I guess this might apply to you particularly, Gerald, I'm thinking that you are so heavily involved in economic development that you probably read a great deal about Peter Drucker, noted speaker, consultant, professor, author. He's the business guru. He died about 15 years ago, Austrian born, but naturalized in the 30s. And he has spoken all over the world. And one of the things that he's always said is that whatever you've been given, you need to pass it on. And that's kind of the way we are. We're all getting older. Some of us are much older than others, but everything that we have learned, if we can pass it on to others, that helps our progeny and ancestry and our entire culture. There's an old African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I totally subscribe to that. Let's put it in the context of sports. You're a collegiate or professional football coach, and you have just been promoted. You've gotten a contract with your favorite NFL team. You can get there very quickly. However, if you're trying to ensure the success of you and the team, what do you want to do? But you want to take your entire organization with you. Now, you can run very quickly. You can get on the plane and hop to whatever city has hired you and be there on the spot. But in order for you to be successful, you have to have others who have indigenous and specific skill sets. In Toastmasters, Pam and I both were so fortunate 4 years ago to have attended a state conference and to have listened to Sharon Frame. She was a newscaster for CNN, Black female, and was so successful that she left her six-figure salary quickly and developed her own consulting firm and has authored several books. Well, Sharon Frame was the keynote speaker at that conference, and she noted 3 specific factors that every single speaker needs to incorporate whenever they're addressing an audience. She called them the 3 C's. First, she said, we need to be clear. By clear, I mean, we should not be using superfluous words. I should not be standing there stuttering and using filler words like, you know, and whatever. No, every word that I use should mean something so that the listener's judgment will not be clouded. Secondly, she wants everyone to always have confidence whenever they're speaking. And how do you gain confidence? You prepare for whatever it is that you're going to be speaking about. Thirdly, she suggested that we always try to maintain, and can you guess what this third one might be?
Composure.
Say again?
Composure.
Say again, Pam?
Yeah, composure.
Oh, I thought you were.
Mm-mm.
Conviction. If you are passionate about whatever it is that you're saying and speaking about, you're speaking from the heart. When we speak from the heart, we don't have to have notes. I don't have notes in front of me because I'm telling you what I truly believe. She's a really smart, bright woman. And what she told me and the rest of the folks 4 years ago has always stuck in my mind. But lastly, I want to tell you just a little bit about two brothers who had owned adjoining farms in the Midwestern United States. Their adjoining farms were so successful and productive, they had worked side by side for over 40 years, sharing supplies, labor, services, and machinery. But one day, it just so happened that they had an argument, and the argument turned into a big brouhaha. And the brothers did not talk to one another for days, which turned into weeks, which turned into months, at which point neither of them wanted to say anything one to the other. It just so happened that one morning there was a knock on the door of the older brother. And it just happened to be an individual who identified himself as a carpenter. He was carrying his box of tools on his shoulder and explained to the older brother that he was just passing through and wondering whether or not there were any odd jobs that he can do for 2 or 3 days until he moved on. And the older brother replied, "No, wait a minute. There is something I want you to do. You see that creek down there? I want you to go down there and build a 8-foot fence all along that creek. My younger brother, who lives on the other side, was so mean and mad, said such hateful things, he ultimately breached the levee right next to our property. It formed that creek. I can't even get my tractor down there in the lower 40 now. I don't even want to see him. And maybe with that fence, it'll show him who's really in charge." Well, the carpenter replied, "If you'll just show me where the lumber and nails are, I'll try and make something that will make you happy." So the older brother showed him where the lumber was and told him, "Listen, I've got to go in town, get some food and other supplies. I'll be back late this afternoon and we'll see what you've done." When the brother arrived, he went down to the creek area and noticed not a fence. No, there was a well-built bridge spanning the creek. And on the other side of the bridge was his younger brother. They both met in the center of the bridge and shook hands. The older brother turned to the carpenter and said, "Listen, I want you to stay around here because I got a lot more jobs for you." But the carpenter replied to him, "I'd love to, but I can't because I have so many more bridges to build." And that leads us to what we're really going to try and do this afternoon, which is get some ideas on how each of our guests build bridges within the community. Now, Gerald, I know that you have to leave, and I want to just say a few things about you before we leave so that everyone will know exactly what we're dealing with here. For those of you who do not know, Gerald is currently the recent president and CEO of the Greater Columbus, Georgia Chamber of Commerce. But before that, he was actually the director of economic development of the Atlanta Beltline Incorporated. And before that, the director of CEDA, the Savannah Economic Development Authority. He's an innovator, he's a motivator, he's a commercial revenue generator. And I have to tell you, I've heard him speak and he is articulate. So Gerald, there's no question, your breadth and depth of economic development speaks for itself. As the new guy in town, how do you intend to build stronger relationships with individuals Who don't want to change the way things have been? Gerald?
So thank you so much for having me today. I'll have to say that all of those superlatives that you used in that description of me are non sequiturs. Just kidding. Thank you so much. I've been really fortunate in the opportunities that I've had to see so many different things in so many communities and to see how those things work. I'm really excited about the opportunity to bring that experience to Columbus to do exactly what you mentioned in your story, and it's build bridges. It's try to find ways to help people leverage the best that's in them, the best that we have in our community, to build something that everybody can be proud of and something that will last for years and years to come. The other way to do that, in my opinion, is to work really hard at listening to people. That is something I learned very early in my career. I don't have all the answers. I won't have all the answers. But frequently when we hear people, when we take the time to listen to what it is that makes them tick, to what it is that they find to be important, to what they find value in, those give us a blueprint for not only how to approach the person and how to make the person believe in us and want to support the mission or direction that we're trying to accomplish. But again, it helps that person to see something that they may not have seen before. So really, I'm committed to, in this phase of being in Columbus and driving a path for economic development and economic growth and inclusion and workforce development, I'm really committed to learning about the community first. I want to understand what the challenges have been. I want to understand where people can go, where people want to go. So I think those are really important keys or factors to building our strategy and for working with the community and being a part of the community. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to continue to do that.
Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you.
Toya, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I noticed in looking over your bio, Toya, that you're actually a graduate of Carver High School here in Columbus.
Mhm.
You've served in the Air Force. And I have to tell other folks, I'm familiar with you from Toastmasters earlier. So I'm glad to see you here. But you're currently serving as a Columbus Council member for District 4, a somewhat impoverished area. And one of your goals is to listen, to communicate, and understand the problems of the citizens who you represent. So my question for you, Toya, is what is your vision for the citizens that you serve in District 4? And how can you build relational bridges to accomplish your vision?
Thank you so much for that introduction. My main goal is to ensure that the citizens in District 4, and not only District 4, but the citizens of Columbus, Georgia, has equitable access to opportunities. And building these bridges are necessary. And I'm happy that we have an amazing CEO at our Chamber of Commerce now who's listening. And I use the word I'm big on those So what my grandfather told me when I initially told him that I was interested in public service, he said that listening skills are the most important skills to have. It is the skill that I truly believe is my main asset. I do want to be a generational bridge builder because right now, many people may see that there is a change in politics. You have some of your seasoned political leaders like Calvin Smiley, who would have told us that story about the turtle on the fence. And the question is, how did that turtle get there? I have been afforded the opportunity to be around some of those great leaders. And by having that access to them, I'm learning how to use those skills in order to be an effective public servant. So as you said, conviction. I'm extremely passionate about what I do. I would not have put my name on the ballot if I wasn't. So as I mentioned, my main thing is equity. You know, we a lot of times say equal, and sometimes it's kind of hard to be equal, but we can do equitable. And that's something that I will focus on this entire 4 years of my service.
Thank you, Toria. And Joyce, you and I actually have some commonalities.
What's that?
We both graduated from Baker High School.
How did you know that?
I'm not going to tell you everything. I've already told you more than I know. You've actually served as a police recruiter.
Yes.
And it's really interesting that we have a mutual friend, Karen Jakes.
Karen Jakes, Phenix City?
Karen Jakes? Do you know
Is
Karen?
that one in Phoenix? Yes, I know a Karen Jakes in Phenix City.
I don't know where Karen is living now. Karen's very active in Toastmasters.
Okay.
For those of you who do know.
She's an AKA too. My sorority sister.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. For those of you who do not know, Joyce has just this past December been promoted to be an assistant chief of police in Columbus, Georgia. Now, with Women's History Month, that is especially significant. And I would take it one step further, Joyce, because not only are you a woman, you are a Black woman, and for Columbus, Georgia to make that monumental step is just phenomenal. So I applaud you. Now, my question for you, Joyce, and I think you'll be able to address this fairly well, because you probably spent hours and hours thinking about this already. Police departments across the country have come under increasing pressure for applying the law unfairly. So as a police chief, how would you try to build bridges of trust between law enforcement officers who are under your supervision, as well as with the citizens you serve?
Thank you. Thank you for the accolades first. Secondly, the way that my take is on bridging the gaps between the community and the police department is that we have to respect each other. We have to get out there and have hard conversations and start reaching people who are hurt, who have had some past difficulties with police officers. We also need to look at our younger people. When I say younger people, we need to start with the ages 13 and up, because those are the most impressionable. And if we can make some type of difference in their world, let them know that we care, and to show them that we are concerned about where they're going and where we're leading them to, I think that'll make a big difference. And we also have that medium age, which I call the 30-ish. They are also in that spectrum, in that telescope that we're trying to reach, because sometimes they've had some bad misfortunes, made some bad decisions in life, and they're paying for them doubly. And so we're trying to reach out to those people. We already have the support of the 60 and over, but we're trying to reach out and show people that we want to be engaged, transparent, and to focus on how to build our relationships and let them know that we're concerned about how they feel about us. But on the same time, it's a twofold, it's a double sword. We have to them too. But we also have to
know that I have some in the barn, but I'm not sure how to tell you where it is.
Miss May is on. Okay, she muted.
Okay, sorry. And I'll wrap this up because I think I was on the green screen at one point. We want to reach out and tell people the 6 pillars of policing, and that is to be engaging with our community. It doesn't matter where you live, north, south, west, east. It doesn't matter where you live in Columbus. We want to bridge the gap and let people know that we care, we're concerned, and we want them to be able to come and talk with us, have candid conversations, hard conversations, because we've had several in the past month or so. And I'm engaging, and I know Chief Blackman is engaging. I know Chief Kennedy, she's out there doing her part too, but we all have to play a big part in the big picture. And so what we want people to know is that you can talk to us, and we know we have to earn your trust, but you also have to give us a chance. Thank you.
Joyce, it was a pleasure to listen to you. I think I've actually been at your home before. Some of you may know that Pam and I own a service company, and Joyce, if my memory serves me correctly, I was at your home about 10 years ago.
Oh, what? What's the service company?
Advanced Appliance Service.
Yes, you were. You have a good, my husband handles all of that, but yes, yes, that was at my pushing and urging. I need you to do this. Yes.
Toya, I just made that up. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, it is clear to me that each and every one of you are leaders, and I want to leave you with one final thought. You've all heard of John Maxwell, the motivational speaker. John Maxwell says that leaders know the way, they go the way, and they show the way. Madam Toastmaster Day.
This has just been so awesome today. And I tell you the truth, when we come together to build these bridges, it's just an amazing thing because we end up learning some things about individuals that maybe we didn't even know. We find out about some skills and talents and resources and things that we weren't aware of, just because we are bringing individuals, locking them together and forming what they call now a mastermind. And so I happen to be in a building right now that is forming such a mastermind in Startup Columbus. This happens to be a part of a bigger mission for Columbus to really grow and develop, not only bringing new businesses, but growing in Columbus the businesses and the entrepreneurs that can bring to our city, to our region, and to the world what they are looking for, because that's what entrepreneurs do, is we solve problems. So we're bringing to them solutions to the problems that they have been facing. And so I have also with me here a gentleman that I would like for him to introduce himself to you, because we did not have him on our list of guests, and I just kind of did something. I want to use this word here. No, I'm not. I'm gonna mess it up. But I believe that when you're talking about building bridges, the first thing that you have to address is issues of communication. Because without the ability to communicate one to the other, even with the brothers, if they did not come together and meet in the middle to communicate, that bridge would have made no difference. Somebody would have put some dynamite and blew it up and the bridge would be blown up and there would not be a connection. So there had to be some communication for that bridge to even work. So this gentleman is a part of the cohorts here in Startup Columbus, and he's doing some amazing work with clinical research. And so I would like for him to just come on even as a last minute guest to our Toastmasters meeting and talk about how he feels clinical research could support us in building bridges in the Columbus, Georgia area. So come on in and join us in this discussion, my wonderful friend.
Hey, everybody, for those- Hello, guys. For those who don't know me, I'm Jay Pitts. I'm honored to be here, a guest of Sandra. Thank you for the invite. And just really ecstatic about these type of conversations because Columbus is near and dear to me. I'm not a native, so to speak. I kind of migrated here probably about 10 years ago, but this has certainly become home for me. Met my wife here. We got 2 boys. It's been such a great experience. And as Sandra mentioned, we own and operate a local emerging clinical research firm here in Columbus, Georgia. And it's funny as we say that because in clinical research, you don't see a lot of, from being completely transparent, a lot of African Americans in the sciences, in the health fields, in this particular area. So I represent an area that is not only passionate to me, but is lacking. And for a lot of our young adolescents coming up, as Joyce mentioned, it is important to address them early and make them aware early. And a part of that is giving them hope, giving them something that they can see, something that they can latch on. And that's a big part of building bridges and recognizing opportunities and the lack of opportunities that they may feel that they don't have, and being able to give them those opportunities. I'm fortunate. I think a big part, I'll say this as well, a big part of the bridge building is to be able to serve. I think that's super important for leaders. I think for entrepreneurs, certainly, one of the biggest things that you have to have is courage. Whether you're working somewhere and you decide to leave that particular situation to pursue something that's you're passionate about, but also not just courage to do that, but courage to take a stand and chase a dream. And for me, a big part of chasing the dream is exactly that. We're not something that was said to me, and I'll say this and I'll let it go, but something that was said to me is you don't chase legacies, you chase purpose. Because if you chase purpose, you ultimately end up with a legacy. And so I think that is something that I hold to, knowing why you do things. And in doing that, you automatically extend yourself out, build that bridge to those that are less fortunate. So I'm again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm super excited to be here, super excited to introduce my business. It's called ClinCep. It's a clinical research firm, and I love to do this again.
All right. Thank you so much, Jay. And I got to say that it's really so cool watching him as he comes in on a regular basis. Most of the time, his wife is hanging out with him as well, even though she has her own business and she has her own things that she's doing. She wants to be supportive of his vision as well. And so you see the tag team going on, very similar to what I see here with Jimmy and Pam Kuhn, really supporting one another as I would say a unit, a family unit, working together toward a common goal. And so that too is a part of building bridges. The first part of that, you look at a bridge, you have one side and another side that comes together, and then you put the rungs or whatever else that, but it has to be, the two coming together, and then whatever else you add on that connects the dots there. So this is really awesome. So this has been a wonderful opportunity for us to introduce to you any guests that have not ever been here before, Toastmasters International, and specifically Masters Toastmasters Club, located right here in Columbus, Georgia, in the heart of Columbus, Georgia. We meet on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays at noon, generally at the Iron Bank Coffee Shop Today we are here at Startup Columbus because I believe in community partnerships. I believe that when you have individuals or organizations, especially nonprofit organizations, we have found that when they collaborate together and share resources and talents and all those things, then both organizations or all organizations thrive as a result of it. So I believe that as I, come here and send this message out live into Columbus from Startup Columbus, we are saying to those people who view this even at a later time that there are resources here in Columbus that can help you to develop into the individual that you want to be in your life and in your family. And it does not have to be a traditional university type setting or anything for you to learn and grow and be developed. A small group just like this, coming together, sharing thoughts, sharing resources, sharing information, and learning from the Pathways Learning System can take you to wherever it is that you want to go. So we are happy that you came today. And we also, I want to acknowledge, no, I'm not, because that is not my job today. I'm going to pass it on because someone else's job is to take this on. Can y'all tell that I like to just kind of just jump in and go for it? So at this time, we would like to go back to our wonderful timer who has been keeping up with the time of this meeting. And we're going to get our timers report now from Toastmaster Pam Kuhn.
Thank you. It made me sad that no one went over and we didn't get to hear the turkey. We didn't get to hear the turkey call today, but that's okay. I can play with it later. Everyone was within time. Gerald's time was 2:10, Toya 2:29, Joyce 2:36, and Jay 2:59. Everyone was within time. We now get to vote on who we feel like gave the best response. I will launch the poll. We do have to vote in every category. Go ahead and vote for speaker one so the poll will go through. Then in table topics, remember number 1 was Gerald, 2 Toya, 3 Joyce, 4 Jay. So those are the 1, 2, 3, 4 for you to vote. Gerald, Toya, Joyce, and Jay. And then scroll down and you will have to vote for evaluator 1, even though we didn't have an evaluator today. That's okay. Go ahead and vote for evaluator and speaker 1 so it will go through. I'll give us about 5 more seconds, then I'm going to end it. If for any reason you can't see the poll, if you'll privately chat it to me, I will add it in. All right, I'm ending it. Thank you, Versandra. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much. And we have those polls being added and tabulated, and there's going to be a special announcement being made in a little bit about who the winner is. But while we're doing that, let's go ahead and get the report from our word of the day, which came from May.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. You used non sequitur, as did Gerald. Both of you used it correctly, and we appreciate that effort to utilize a word that is actually very useful. So we had two uses of the word during the program today.
Yes.
I'm Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you. We really want to expand our vocabulary because as we communicate this whole idea of building bridges and what can happen as a result of building bridges, what I mean by that is becoming limitless. You know, when I think about it, I just get overjoyed to thought of what we can do together. And so we want to do all of the things that Toastmasters brings to us to help us in that end. And that is enhance our communication, enhance our confidence level, our ability to communicate, even communicating visions, things that are not tangible that people can see, feel, and touch. As we do that, we are definitely becoming limitless. And so I am going to, at this time, turn it back over to our fearless president of the club, who has served us this entire year in such a way that I'm telling you, not, I hear Jimmy say, I'm impressed. I am beyond impressed, because this young lady, the phone calls, the emails, the reaches, the attempts to connect with us, to help us to do what we said we wanted to do when we signed up as Toastmasters, her commitment is just unmatched. And so I present to you back in this virtual podium, our president, Pam Kuhn.
Thank you, Vassandra. Basically, what I heard is you can run, but you can't hide. I will find you. I will hunt you down. But it's a good thing, so it's okay. I want to announce the winners of our table topics contest today. We had a tie.
Wow.
The winners, Gerald and Joyce.
Yay.
Yay. Congratulations.
Woohoo.
Our next meeting is April the 13th. Does anyone have any other comments they'd like to make before I adjourn the meeting, or anything for the good of Toastmasters? Anyone?
We did have on the call our newest member of Toastmasters, or of Masters Toastmasters Club. I'm sure she had to leave. She moved into a new apartment just yesterday, and she's so excited. And so she came by today and filled out her application. And our new member is Kiera Robertson. So she is joining us today. I'm super excited. Her business is La Rose Prince, LLC. She does marketing and graphic designs and all kinds of really cool stuff that can help you to brand your business. And so we do have 4 other ones that I personally reached out and recruited. I'm hoping that the rest of our members are doing the same, because we realize that membership recruitment is not only the responsibility of the VP of membership, but it is the responsibility of each and every member. I will remind you that you took a promise, the Toastmasters promise, that says that you would actively share the message of Toastmasters in your community, in your family, with individuals, to promote what it is that we are doing. We're not asking people to actually contribute to Toastmasters or anything. We're not begging anybody to do anything, but to invest in themselves. That's what we're asking people to do, to say yes to their own personal development and to make the commitment of less than $5 a month to that end. And so when we do it in that way, then we recognize that, hey, we're actually giving people gifts. So please continue to do that. And contest this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. is the Division F. This is the humorous speech contest and the international speech contest. And guess what? We have one of our own competing in this competition. Everybody know who it is, right? Everybody know? No. Pam Kuhn. Pam Kuhn is representing our club in the division. And that means that beyond the division, you go from there into the district competition that will happen at the district convention. The different district conference that's happening in April. If you have not received information about that in your email, you can reach out to me and I will make sure I get it to you, but it's in the emails that continue to be flooding your inbox to remind you of what's going on in Toastmasters to assist you on your journey. So that's my final remarks. I'm going to turn it back to you, Pam, and we can close this baby out.
Thank you, Versandra. Kiara, your ears must have been burning because we were just talking about you.
You
But
came back.
Don't worry, it was all good. So if you would jump on here, introduce yourself, and give us any comments that you have about the meeting or anything we've talked about.
Okay. Thank you so much, Versandra, for inviting me to this meeting. I recently joined Toastmasters. I would love to learn about speaking effectively, getting my message across and staying consistent and focused. And basically what I do, I am a graphic designer. I have a company called La Rose Prints, and I focus on creative wellness for businesses and lifestyle through offering promotional products such as business cards, flyers, banners. And then I also help with creative thought process through painting events and painting services as well. I would love to expand on that and become a better speaker, and also learn a few tools that I can use during my presentations. So that's what made me join that. And also Versandra was a definite benefit to Toastmasters and a good example on the benefits that help you through Toastmasters. So I'm excited. I'm excited about learning. I do apologize for having my video off, but I have been moving. But I have been listening the whole time, minus when my service kind of got a little interrupted. But I'm here, I'm excited, and it's wonderful to meet you all and listen to all of the viewpoints and just learn a little bit about more people in the community.
Awesome.
Carol, we're so glad you've joined. We're excited for you to begin your journey and can't wait for you to give your icebreaker so we can hear more about you. Definitely everyone is invited back April 13th. That's our next meeting. If you're not a member, please reach out to Versandra or she'll reach out to you and join us. We'd love to have you. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.
Yay!